Doing something a little different today. I'm going to give you 3 views of the same race. We had a club ladder race against the Steel Rhinos. I think it went really well. It was well raced by both teams, and I just thought it was worth commenting on. So away we go. Rooster sets a blistering tempo right out of the gate, keeps things fast. My role is going to be to attack the climb, stay in the draft, save myself for the sprint. Owlet spins up and puts in an attack. I'm there to cover. That's another one of my roles. So right here, I very carefully close the gap. Rooster joins me, and if we find ourselves in a situation where we have a gap, so we're going to push our advantage. A 2-on-1. Owlet is not their sprinter, and we have a good advantage here. We're going to roll it out. Rooster's pushing hard. Right here, I start taking a pull. I am a bigger rider. I have a lot of just raw watts. We're on the flats. I have an aero bike. I want to turn this into a break. The Steel Rhinos are a very strong team. They're going to give us a lot of grief on the climb. So if we don't start rotating and keeping the pace in the upper fours, we won't have an advantage going into the mini KOM. It's not very big. It's about a 3-minute climb. But I want to make sure that we have a huge advantage. So Rooster and I are talking on race radio. We're rotating really well. We're working well together. Really good communications and teamwork. There is a strategy here. Notice we are always 1 and 3 here, or we should be, or 2 and 3. That's 3 in this pack here. And what I'm saying is Sisu is either 2-3. This is a great configuration for us if Owlet wants to pull. But when Owlet doesn't want to pull, we should be 1 and 3. Right here, this is describing 1 and 3. I need to be off Owlet's draft, resting in the double draft between Rooster and Owlet. And then when I'm pulling, look at the nearby riders. You can see Rooster is comfortably in the number 3. Why? Because the onus is on Owlet to stay with us, so he must always keep in the number 2 position. If you want to see what excellent teamwork looks like, look in the bottom right screen. That's Jonathan's. Jonathan and Nathan don't touch the front ever. They're showing trust in us to get and keep away, and they're conserving all the watts by not doing any work. They have no onus to do any work, and so they're not. Perfection. You may see Jonathan touch the front. He's a larger rider and he's very smart, and he rides the rollers well. He knows how to anticipate a little extra push. He just does barely enough to get over the top and carry momentum from his large frame up rollers. It's just smart. Like, look at this. He might touch the front, but as soon as he does, he's at 0 watts. Now he covers this attack beautifully, not overtaking. not wasting watts, staying directly in the draft of Barry, because that's exactly what he should be doing. There's no need to be in the front here at all, and in fact it would be bad form if they were. They need to give us as much time to continue the break as possible, and that's exactly what my teammates are doing, just covering the attacks and sitting in. It really depends on your team, your characteristics, how fast you go, but at about a minute gap, you can start thinking about your team being let off the leash and to be able to do what they want. I asked the team to let us work the break, and we kept pushing the break for as long as possible. I really wanted the biggest gap before the climb. Micah does crazy stuff, and that's your bottom left screen. He's an excellent rider, and I'm always fearful that he can come back in some way. So Rooster and I are continuing to work the advantage. Outlet pulls there. We weren't sure why. I think he might have been thinking about dropping us, but we go back to our 1-3 configuration. But if you watch bottom right and bottom left, that's really where the race is. Rooster and I are just working the break and not really racing, but everything interesting happens in the bottom two screens. I've said it before, but good communications win races, and this whole time, you can watch the raw video, we're communicating. My NVIDIA broadcast, it is canceling the background noise from my mic, but the downside of that is when I play race radio through my speakers, I don't hear it. I need to figure that out, but that's all right. But we're communicating, the things we're talking about is how we feel. Rooster and I are rotating turns. We're starting to plan about me pulling a little bit more before the KOM so that Rooster can rest. Generally, I have a really good relationship with a lighter rider that's got good watts per kilo. I'm a good enough climber as a big guy to stay in their draft in a draftable climb, and sometimes I can contribute, but that's our plan, is to drop Owlette, and also forgive me if I'm saying that wrong, but on the climb we would like to get away. The other thing we can do here is it's the same 1-3 configuration. We can let Rooster do whatever he wants on the climb, and I should be stuck right in the draft of Owlette. I should not be in the 2 position. I should be behind him and let Rooster get away. That would be ideal because Rooster doesn't have the best sprint. That's actually an incredibly ideal scenario for us. I'm going to take one last pull here to give Rooster some respite to be able to pull on the climb. Bottom right, Jonathan is grinding the pedals and attacking, and that's been communicated. We have over a minute. They are weapons free. They can, if they can get away, they can do so. Here is my strong pull. At the same time, there's an attack by McDonald, and the boys are in the draft again, which is great. And Micah, they're pushing the pace. I'm giving Rooster that last bit of respite before the climb, trying to take some of the brunt of this so he can rest. Climb begins. I need to make sure I'm positioned behind Owlet. I need not go in front of him. There we go. I'm at 0 watts when I approached passing him, which is the right thing to do. Not perfect here. We're not quite in the climb, but just about to. So we set it on race radio. Rooster's weapons free as soon as the climb starts, meaning he can go at 6 watts per kilo if that's what he would like to do. I did not ride this perfect. You could see me surpassing Owlet in a few occasions. I really need to be behind. I kind of get my bearings here. There's a gap forming. I need to let it form and or do this. Owlet just looked beat, and so I was dedicated to catching up with Rooster and working together with him. I was very confident that this move would work, and if it didn't, it was just status quo and we would let Rooster go again. But now that is how we formed the 2-person break, which is pretty much a victory 4v4. Now let the real racing begin in your bottom screens. Bottom left is Micah and bottom right being Jonathan Chambers. A monster attack from Micah and a big chase from Nathan and Jonathan. Jonathan does the absolute right thing, and that he hooks onto the wheels of the Rhino chasers as Nathan successfully chases down Micah, and also does the right thing. Look at the nearby riders on Micah's screen. Nathan will not surpass him and won't do more watts and is just resting. As for me on the top, I'm pulling hard on the descent. I actually kind of blew past Rooster there and waited up for him. Rooster's light, and so that's why I should be going. Now on the bottom, there's an attacks by Barry. They're covered, and we're going to continue to see this. Jonathan's riding really well, staying in McDonald's draft. That's all he needs to do. The Rhinos are attacking really hard. Right here is one of my favorite parts because there's a big attack. Nathan covers and then he pushes through. That is just the right thing to do. Micah's covering very well and Nathan sees that and backs off a little bit, but then starts pushing the descent. But now Nathan and Jonathan are our 2 best sprinters out of this squad on the team, really, and in this squad. So this is ideal. We have our 2 best in the back there, and Rooster and I have the 1-2. It's an automatic win in a 4v4 if you were challenged. If you're the challenger, you can still lose or tie that, which is a loss for you. But yeah. I really didn't appreciate it until I watched Micah's video back and Jonathan's, like how much attacking there was. Like right here, there's an attack and just perfectly covered by Nathan and by Jonathan, keeping things close. These are tough attacks and just the right level of response where you're not killing yourself to catch up with folks and you're staying in the draft. Look, Nathan's being really thoughtful. He knows he can reel him in here and he's just methodically chipping away until he gets him back, which brings the pack, which is beneficial when you have the sprinters. You want to bring the pack because you're going to beat that pack in a sprint. Micah's got a great sprint. Other than that, but our guys have a lot of watts here. Chapeau to Barry. He's new on the Rhinos team. Listening to their race radio was incredible. Barry thanked the guys for letting him race with them and just gave us a big compliment, and I want to reciprocate the compliment that Barry's not the best sprinter. I love what he said. He's working on it, as we all are, and I know he's going to be formidable, but he was doing everything he could to attack, as he knew he didn't have the sprint, which is absolutely the right thing to do. So hats off. This is a very strong team, and this was a well-executed plan. Not a play fumbled, and everything we wanted to do tonight just worked. So, and I had a giant fitness breakthrough, as you can see at the top, averaging 3:28 after 35 minutes. Comfortably a record for me, just there with Rooster bringing it home. I love that we never stop. We're never satisfied until, just any position we'll always fight for it. And so here goes Nathan with a cover that he'll turn into his own attack to get a gap with 1K to go. If you saw the video, I'm actually reading back Barry's watts per kilo and the gap Nathan had, so he can just focus on his own power. That's what I was doing in the live video, to let him know, like, his gap, you got 5 seconds, because I knew that the course was over at 24.4, and I could see Nathan closing in, and I could see the gap maintaining, so he didn't have to kill himself to finish there. One thing that's interesting is we're trying to get Jonathan to go first. Jonathan will never go first in this situation. He's just got way too many watts. He doesn't need to. So he's in full control here. They were right to say their only chance was if Jonathan went first, but he's just never going to in that case because he has full control. This was just an awesome performance by us and a fitness breakthrough against a team that I think is incredibly formidable and I respect a lot, which is one of the reasons why we kept putting the gap on, because I know this team can come back. So well done, everybody. Thanks for watching.